Motorsport, Ferrari takes the #1 spot for almost all constructor records in F1. It's the team with the most World Championships won, the most Grand Prix wins, most pole positions, and most race entries. We might be used to blisteringly fast pit stops, some even approaching the sub-2 second mark. But what about the longest? Well, that would go to Valtteri Bottas, who had to retire after a seized wheel nut forced him to retire in the 2021 Monaco GP. The seized nut was removed 43 hours later, which officially makes it the longest pit stop turnaround in history. British constructor Arrows never won a race after 383 attempts, the highest of any team in Formula One history. They came close 5 times in 1978, 1980, 81, 85 and 1997. F1's distinctive sound throughout the decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CSS for round 12 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is the final round of the season, and NLR have truly wrapped up the championship. CPI have truly wrapped up the championship after their fantastic performance this season, with I think 5 wins this season, most out of any team, and they've secured that P1. But there's still a battle going on for P2 between NLR and IRT, of course, so that should be a very close watch battle indeed between those two teams. And who will come out on top? It was Kega who won the Las Vegas Grand Prix last week after a fantastic drive, beating both ILT drivers indeed. The gap between ILT and NLR, I think, is 25 points between the two, so that is a very tight battle indeed. None of them can afford to make any mistakes whatsoever, so we'll keep an eye on those two teams in this race. 18-minute qualifying session, of course, looking very cloudy out there in Brazil, as we're about to watch a flying lap from Indian in the Alfa Romeo. Then there's 4.3 from the circuit, and let's see what happens going down into turn 1. They're braking at the 50-meter ball. You can see the back end already stepping out as he makes his way down into turn 2, now turn 3. He already backs out of his lap, knowing that he made a mistake in turn 1, headed into turn 2. Did he take too much curb on the inside, which unsettled his car? Was most likely the case. So fortunate for him, he has invalidated, but he can save his tyres and regenerate that lost battery too. He used in the opening first few corners. Oh, Phil there going out wide at turn 4, and already has invalidated his lap time, so that's Phil lap time over. Very easy to validate outside of turn 4 as well, so unfortunately his lap time is ruined already at the first sector, so we'll go on board with somebody else this time to see if they can pull off a flying lap. I think the closest person on the track to set a lap time is Geistad, so watch him then as we make our way towards the end of the first set, to make our way now to turn 6 and turn 7 in this double right-hander we got right here. Very easy to drop it on top of the hill as well on the exits. Make our way now towards this middle sector there, just lifting and very slightly coming into the corner there, back in the front immediately without losing the traction, and now going towards this right-hander. Last time I commentated for CSS was quite a while ago. I think it was the Miami Grand Prix. We saw a fantastic battle between OP and ILT as Indian sets the fastest lap, but we all know that's not a representative lap time. And Mustache then goes to the top of the timing sheets with a 7.5 for NLR, which is very crucial indeed for his team. Here comes Geistad to make his way now towards the line in the Rev 4. He goes to second place with an 8.1, so he's 6 tenths currently off Mustache, who cements pole position for the time being. But we've still got plenty of more drivers to set a flying lap around here, including Steve in ILT. Then there's an Alfa Romeo just right behind us. Not quite sure if he's... No, he's not. I think he's one of the Alfa Romeos who's completed the lap. It is. It's Indian who's finished his flying lap. But ETA Paul goes into P2 with a 7.6 then, so only a tenth behind, or a few hundreds behind Mustache in P1 there. As we've got more then to come across the line. I think one of the Ferraris is about to come across the line, but unfortunately he has invalidated there, so he won't be able to set or complete a flying lap. Let's see if he dives off the pit lane or goes for another lap around here in Brazil. On board with ILT Phil, he comes out of John Sauer, but he does not set a lap time as he gives a slipstream towards Steve. Here he is, goes up into P4, and Sergio goes into P3 there. Sergio, sorry, goes into P3 in the Aston Martin, representing an ETL, of course. So good lap time from him, just a few hundreds behind there of Paul. I think a lot of people out there struggling to set lap times around this difficult track. We've seen a lot of validation so far around here in Brazil. Very unsurprising indeed. A lot of corners we catch a lot of people out too. And I think somebody else, I think EPL Stretch is going to cross the lines and go into P7, and this guy stands is in the pit lane. Here is Lapiche coming towards the end of the middle sector, representing LDL, of course. with his teammate up there in P12, Noziaki in 12th place. I think he's on a flying lap. Is his Ferrari teammate. Here he is then, coming towards the DRS line now and taking the shortest distance towards the finish line. He goes up into 8th place. Does Lapiche in 8th place. I don't think I read the rules properly though, because I think I've got one of the systems up which I'm not supposed to have. The full map track is up there too. He told me to turn the telemetry on. Is this? There we go. That's what I was supposed to do. Usually in a league I've never really turned the telemetry off because it's always been up there, but I try and remember for the race upcoming. Angelo, unfortunately in the Alpine, has invalidated then, so not a lot of drivers then get to the lap times they need in the opening stint, but we've still got 12 minutes left in the session. One of the Red Bulls is about to go for a flying lap as I try and think of his name as we make our way towards the end of the first sector. 17.0 is the first sector then for the Red Bull driver, and he's 2 tenths away from Mustache in first place. So already 2 tenths down in the first sector is the Red Bull driver. There was a McLaren driver, Phil, who's currently going for an outlap on the track somewhere in the first sector. So I can't wait to see what lap time he does. But the back of the car just stepped out there. I'm not quite sure if that was lag or something like that, because you did see a bit of a glitch in there going on for the Red Bull driver. Make our way now towards Mugello, the downhill section. Flat out left-hander, of course, and come towards John Sau. Famous corner, I think you all know why. It is a pretty famous corner back in 2008 where Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel overtook Timo Glock to win the World Championship and destroy Ferrari's dreams. And here we are then, towards the line goes the Red Bull. Let's see what that time this is. It's going to be an 8.2 then, as he would dearly love to get to the 7s where the rest of them are. However, elsewhere on the track, NLR Coolman is coming out of John Sau, so let's see what his first lap time is in the Williams. Can he get anywhere near his teammate at the top of the timing sheet? We're about to find out now as he makes his way towards the line, and he does with a 7.4. That's a very good lap time, and he goes into first place, a tenth ahead of Mustache. So it looks like NLR then are currently on top, which they need to try and beat ILT in the championship. Where is the LT driver of Phil? He's on his lap so far, coming towards the first sector with a 16.9. I think one of the Alpines had just crossed the line to go up somewhere. I think it was Angelo who goes up into P7 there with a 7.9, just on the fringes of just getting the 7s there. Phil a bit wide on the entry there, and it might compromise his next corner towards the left-hander. I'm not done my research because I have forgotten what the corner numbers are. This is turn 10 where Hamilton and Alex Albon had their crash back in 2019. Could have been a Red Bull 1-2, but unfortunately for Albon, his first chance of a podium got wiped out, but he did pick up a podium back at the Mugello Grand Prix in 2020. And a nice orchestrated slipstream there for McLaren, and it looks like Steve is repaying the favours towards his teammate as Phil will get the extra speed down the straight as he makes his way towards the line, but it's P2. He separates the Williams drivers, which is very interesting indeed. Despite a slipstream, he was not able to beat Kuhlmann, who did not have a slipstream. So that lap time there was a very good one indeed for the Williams driver. Here is Paul coming to the ends now of the first sector. Let's have a look where ETA are in the championship. I think they're currently in P5 because they did join towards round 5. So they haven't been in this championship fight throughout the whole season. And obviously there's only 12 races this season as well. So all the points count for a short season, and they missed 4 of them. Their first appearance was back in round 5, and they did score quite a lot of points. In fact, they actually won the Grand Prix they started in at round 5. But here is Paul then making his way down towards the left-hander of Mugello, going into John Sau, and there is his Aston Martin teammate Sergio Oli then coming towards the John Sau corner on the straight. Is he a bit too close for a slipstream? I think he should have pulled away. That's not really a slipstream, is it, for both OTA drivers? So they haven't really got it timed to perfection, but he still goes quickest though in the Aston Martin. It's a 7.3, so without a slipstream that was actually quite a good lap time there. And apologies for Sergio in P5 for if I do mispronounce your names and other people here in the session, so just bear with me and hopefully I can pronounce it right. I'm just going to call him Sergio for the time being. Look at that, 1/10 up in the first sector already, a 16.8, matching Mustache in comparison to his first sector, so he's already on the flyer. Is Sergio's making away now towards Ferradura, flicking in at the 50-metre ball, kind of a lot of speed as we make our way to the top of the hill into a braking zone we go. And it's very easy to make mistakes here through low speed corners, which demand a lot of traction on the exit as we get out of the corners, make our way now towards turn number 10, taking a very wide entry indeed Let's see then how he does out of the corner, downhill towards Magello. Guy stands in the Red Bulls gone P10, Nosiecki in P8 there, but look at Sergio, 2/10 up in that middle sector. He might get a slipstream from the Alfa Romeo driver, so that might pay handy indeed, as the EOS will be turned on for the Alfa Romeo to start a flying lap. You can see him taking a wider angle there to prepare his lap. Sergio taking the inside line, trying to minimise the distance, and he goes into P2. So it's an ETA 1-2 so far. Very good lap time indeed, 3/10 away, or sorry, 300ths away from his teammate Paul in P1 there. So very close lap times indeed being set by the drivers around this 4.3km circuit. Indian coming towards the first end of the first sector, currently a few hundreds down the first sector. Did he run out wide on the curb at the exit of turn 4? Can't really quite tell, because obviously I was off board there, but as we couldn't make our way towards the double end, the double right hander we go into Veradora. Now into turn 7 we go. See the back end of the car just stepped out there, massive wheel spin on the exit 2 for good measure, and I think Mustache is going to cross the line to go up into P5. It was coming in a lap time. It was an AlphaTauri who crossed the line. I think that was Stretch who's got into P8 there in the AlphaTauri. Here's Indian coming towards the end of the middle sector. He's still down that middle sector there. Is Indian. There's his teammate, and he goes out wide at the exit of the corner, picks up a bit of oversteer as well on the exit, and his teammate will give him a nice slipstream down the straight. How much time will he give him? In fact, he backs out. I just want to check. Oh, he's run out of fuel. So, unfortunately for Indian, he's run out of fuel there. He says he's done 2 laps, I think, on the set of soft compound tyres. So he's going for multiple runs on that same set of soft compound tyres, and unfortunately has run out of fuel. It's a shame there for Indian. Here comes Mustache now, making his way towards the line. He goes up into P4, so makes it an NLR P3 and P4, just slightly away from ETA in P1 and P2. So ETA occupied the first row, NLR occupied the second row, and looks like Steve and Phil are currently in the pit lane still, so just waiting to come out at the very late stages here in qualifying. Stretch is in the pit lane as well, as the majority of drivers are in the pit lane. RCR Angelo is going for a flying lap in the Alpine then. RCR currently in P10 in the championship. So let's see if we can try and get some many points here, trying to overtake RVL and WOR. Not many points separate between those two teams, RVL and RCR. That'll be a tongue twister between those two teams, but they're quite close together on the track. Currently RCR winning that battle with Matozo in P7 and Angelo in P11 ahead of both RVLs. But Angelo is not improving his middle in his lap in the middle sector there, unfortunately for the Alpine. So let's see then what he does. Makes his way towards the finish line, as let's see what lap time he can set. He goes up into P11, or stays in P11, and he just improves slightly on his previous best. So how many minutes we got left in the session then, as qualifying will come to a close very shortly, as majority of drivers then in the pit lane just waiting for the last few minutes around here in Brazil to get a track evolution too. But currently Paul is on pole position for NLR. Sorry, NLR. I'm used to seeing in another league. I'm used to seeing NLR in the Aston Martin. But obviously they're the Williams. So it's ETA P1 and P2 for the time being. Just notice as well, where is CPI? They're currently down in 17th and 18th. So McKillany and Jesler. Oh, also Jesler has joined CPI. He was a former X driver too, but unfortunately he has announced his departure from the X team, and hopefully I follow too. And he's joined CPI as well. So let's see how he does for his new team CPI. And good luck to him as well. I think he wants to do the PC tier, if I'm not mistaken, if I read his statement. He did write a massive paragraph in the chat, but I couldn't be bothered to look at all of it. As there is Guy stands in the Red Bull. There is a bit of a lull on the track, but some drivers then are on a flying lap as we make our way now towards 6 and 7 for the Red Bull driver RVL of Guy stands. So let's see what he could do then on his last potential flying lap. He has pulled the trigger rather early, maybe trying to get 2 laps in just in case he validates his first lap. He's always got a second lap to go for, depending if he's got the fuel to do so as well. Make our way now towards this right hander we go. And I'm not used to streaming on Twitch, so every time there's a comment in the comment section, I go on YouTube to find it, but I realise we stream on Twitch. So Guy stands there, has got purple in the middle sector. I don't think it's representative to what he could do. But here he is then on his flying lap. Let's see what lap time he could do as he makes his way now towards the finish line. Is it going to be in the 7s? It is. It's a 7.8, and he puts himself ahead of Angelo. Only by a few hundreds there between Angelo and Guy Stanson, so not much between those two teams there. as Nozieki is about to start a flying lap. I think he's just finished one. He's not turned on his DRS, the back of the car is flashing, so I'm not quite sure if I've been tagged somewhere in the section. Let me go see what's happened now. I've been tagged somewhere in the Discord, so I think I made a mistake somewhere. Can't quite. My Discord isn't loading, unfortunately, so I'm not quite sure what the guys have said in the Discord session. But Nozieki, I'm not quite sure what the problem was there in the Ferrari. He has a lot of battery, so I think he's going for another outlap there, or a double push lap, it must be said. So we've got majority of drivers on an outlap with about 2 minutes left in the session. ETA currently occupy the front row with NLR in second place, third and fourth, so occupying the second row. So what could Steve do in the McLaren? Then the Dutchman in the McLaren, 1/10 up in the first sector is ILTC, but he makes his way now towards turn 10 we go. Can he find any more time in that middle sector there and join his teammate on the third row? Currently 2/10 away from his teammate. There is a bit of traffic ahead of us. Steve has got a 10th quicker in the middle sector there, so let's see if it's a big improvement. There is his ILT teammate given a lovely slipstream there. I think Phil had to negotiate his way around the Alpine driver to make sure he didn't hold up Steve and also get caught in traffic. Here is Steve towards the line. He goes up into P3. What a big improvement there for Steve. He found 2/10 in that middle sector. Very good indeed. But look at Phil. He's right behind. He's invalidated. Already at the exit of turn 2, Phil has invalidated. Got too close there to the Alpine already. And that has damaged his qualifying then, unfortunately. So he will be not taking pole position. I think Aston Martin spun. Is that Sergio? No. ETA Paul is going very slowly there on the exit. So I thought he spun, but he hasn't. He's just slowing down to try and let people go around this short track. So who should we keep it on board with? Keep it on board with Sergio for now in P2. And let's see what he does in that middle sector there. There's his teammate. That's why his teammate's slowing down, because he can give a toe towards the end of the straight. So that makes sense why he's slowing down. He's currently a few hundreds down in that middle sector is Sergio, but out the corner we go. He'll get a lovely toe from his teammate in the Aston Martin. And let's see if he can try and put himself back up to pole position then, as he gets a nice toe going down that straight. Let's see what happens. It's going to be a 7.3. He does improve by 300s there, has Sergio. And let's see if Paul could try and beat that lap time then, as the times are coming in thick and fast there, as qualifying has almost come to an end. So both McLaren's there third, and Phil, currently in 6th place, has invalidated his lap time. Looks like he's got enough time to go for a flying lap. He does. There's 20 minutes left to go in the session, and Mustache is on pole. Did Phil give Mustache a teammate, sorry. Did Phil give Mustache a toe down that straight? Obviously not on purpose, but it was well timed, and Mustache would be delighted to get a pole off of both ETA boys in 2nd and 3rd place then, as Phil is going for his last flying lap in McLaren then. Didn't quite see what he did in the first sector, but as we exit turn 4, turn 5, and basically flat out corners, we go into turn 6 and turn 7, flicking in, carrying him in his speed there, back to the floor, they straighten out the braking into this corner, and he slides just a bit there, does Phil. Not quite sure what brake bias is running, but it must be quite low, with the rears locking up as we make our way now towards this right hander we go. Can be quite tricky, but ETA Paul has gone back onto pole position with a 7.2, mighty lap time indeed from the ETA driver, but Phil is currently 10th up in that middle sector there. Where will that lap time put him? He's got no toe from his teammate, has Phil. Although Steve could have slowed down and gave Phil a toe because he was going for a second lap there. But here he is, making his way towards the line. What's it going to be for the German driver? He's lost time, unfortunately for him. Maybe his previous best lap time, he had a toe. But Phil is P6 and his teammate's P4. So the battle between NLR and IRT is looking good and spicy up there between those two teams. But currently ETA Paul is on pole and Sergio's in P3, so looking good for ETA so far as well, because also they're in a championship battle with a few teams ahead of them. In fact, saying that though, ETA are a bit too far away to catch. No, they're 1 point behind, is my eyes deceiving me, because look at the wrong column. So ETA are currently in the battle for LDL, and so far advantage ETA ahead of LDL, because both of their drivers are down in 10th, and where is the other one? It's 15th. So looks like ETA will secure P4, going into the last race of the season. There's still plenty of teams out there fighting for positions in the championship fight. EPL and BMW are currently in a scrap for P6 as well. 7 points separate those two teams between P6 and P7. But we move on to the race, and this should be a very interesting race indeed between all these guys. Stevan says restart after qualifying. I'm pretty sure after this race ends, we'll all be watching the Miami Grand Prix to see Max Verstappen dominate another race. So there will be a restart after the quali then, and we'll all have to go into a new lobby, and hopefully we can get racing. 36 laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix has always been a fantastic track around Interlagos, a very historical track indeed. Championships have been won and lost around here. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they're actually racing then, but it is a lobby restart. I'll be back with you shortly while the new lobby is starting up. We'll take a bit of a break from here, and we can get racing for Brazil.
Hello?
Hello.
Sorry, I was having so many problems. I had to arrive late. Have I missed anything?
Just the qualifier session. You're about to head into the race, so you haven't really missed much.
Excellent. You take the reins. I am just here to be color commentator.
Are you in the lobby right now?
Yeah.
Sound.
So, if you don't know, I'm Attack Logan. I haven't been here for a while because family matters. Spend more time with them. We are in the final race of this season, this long season. It's about to get underway. Take it away, Indigo.
Right, so 5 lights then, and we are underway for the Brazilian Grand Prix then for the final time here as Paul gets a decent start off the line as the other Aston Martin is about to come alongside. He's boxed in there, which allows Sergio to go around the outside and take Peter away from Moustache there. Both McLarens at P6 and P7 are squabbling away as Phil is ahead of C for the time being. Indian is ahead of Matozo, and we've got more scraps going on down in the midfield there as we go up into turn 4 into the rest of Pocha. Oh, looks like... Oh, thankfully the Williams just lagged because it looks like he outbroke himself on board there, but thankfully it was just a bit of lag and nothing serious. Here's Indian versus Seeb as he splits both McLarens there and he goes up into P7. Seeb has been overtaken by 2 drivers. Oh, the Alfa Romeo getting out of shape there and he tags the back and also more contact with his teammate too.
Oh dear.
Major contact job going on there in the first opening lap between those guys.
Yes, especially the back involving the recent F3 champion Jeslar and McHillamy as Guitons as well. They've been involved in a lot of fights this season, and this will be the last time they'll be fighting. This the final fight as Angelo starting to lose positions now as well to McHillamy in the CPI, who dominated the early rounds of the season, had a bit of a slit up, but they've managed to hold on to their fast pace. But now there's Seki getting past in the LDL ahead of Stretch. That was not a stretch at all. Phil gets into 4th as well, swiping through Coleman in the NLR Williams. But it is still Paul that leads the way ahead of his teammates. But here comes Phil now, and Moustache on the inside. This for third position in the podium, and there he goes in the Studio del Lago. Nicely done from Phil.
Yeah, nicely done indeed, as there's been a compound tyres, of course, so once it's making its way through these hard runners, there's okay in P6, it's also on the soft compound tyres. 3 of them, or 4 of them on the soft compound tyres there, so watch out for those people in the early stints of this race. We've got 4 pitters already. Jeslar is ahead, and McKinley is also ahead, so that's a double overtake there from both Mercedes, going up the inside, taking advantage of the VMV driver. I can't really pronounce his name, so sorry about that, but 4 people pitted at the end of the first lap. It was Sam, Angelo, Geistans and Matozo, so both RCR drivers in the pit lane after a massive pile-up and conceded effect going into turn number 7, which was caused by Indian, but he's still in P9 there, fighting behind C. Away we go, and DRS should be enabled now on lap 3. We can see there Phil in the slipstream. Will he dive down the inside into 1? Not quite make it stick. Gotta watch out and pick his moments then. But he will have the DRS now as it's been enabled, so that rear wing should be open in the McLaren. But both Aston Martins will play it out very nicely there, just used each other for the DRS, swapping positions for first and second. Phil can't make his way past, he's stuck in that DRS train already, and not a good sign on those being compound tyres. However, Seeb and India switching places there. Seeb has been overtaken by the soft runner there, so shouldn't be too compromised by that because he's in the soft compound tyres, of course, so he is going to be quicker at the early stages of this Grand Prix. However, you can see Stretch there already a second away from the top 6 there, so he needs to get himself back in this DRS train before he starts losing momentum.
And Jeslar's already completed 1/3 of his last to first challenge. He started back in 18th, now in 12th, and he's going for 11th here. It only took him 2 laps to complete 1/3 of the field. Now he's got 11 others, including Spinoda, very inventive name, up in front in that Red Bull. So the RVL car being represented, of course, and they are filtering through now. It looks like Paul is going to start lap number 4, but here comes Phil right behind his teammate Sergioli, and he's going to be feeling the heat now, but he gets a toll from Paul that might help him keep the second place now. It does, as Indian gets the FL.
And I think Jesler has overtaken Spinoda. Both Mercedes on a charge from the back of the field as they disqualified themselves or retired early doors, and now they're behind Lapiche in 10th place there. So Spinoda's been overtaken by both Mercedes, both on a charger course, and I'm sure the manager of CPI, which is Troyer, of course. Both of us should be racing right now, but it is a week break, so luckily we won't be screaming at each other for 1 week at least. But Guy stands ahead of the Alfa Romeo, who puts himself into P15 to battle for P1 and P2. These Aston Martins are going to work together to keep these guys at bay. Phil is in a tricky situation here. He's not able to close up and get alongside Sergio because he's got his teammates ahead of him. Paul and Sergio will constantly swap places for first and second, and it'll be difficult for Phil to get past both of them with the DRS they both have as well. So that could be a very difficult race there. There's been a compound tyres. He wants to be progressing, but actually he's stationary there in P3 according to the bounty. He gets so close, but not close enough. He's trying not to use too much battery in the early stages as well to get past the Aston Martin of Sergio there. As you can see, the DRS wide open, but he stays behind his teammate. He knows he's got a bit of a distance between himself and Phil behind, so he does have to overtake his teammate. But he will overtake his teammate if Phil comes alongside him. However, further down the field, I think India was so close behind Stretch, but able to make a move down into turn 1 there. And let's see what happens down to turn 4. Is he alongside? Close enough? No, he's not. Still far behind.
Look at this 6-car train. Could be 8, 9, 10 if they keep getting at this. Meanwhile, further behind, Jeslar and McElhenney showing why they're champions. They're about to close up to leading field. Of course, they won the championship last week, CPI, with a 5th win of the season. They were just utterly dominant. If they win tonight, somehow, they will have half of the races won, which is an incredible achievement in itself. And can also mention they had 2 1-2s in the second and third round as well. They finished 5... But we've try and write off their horrendous 5th race, first corner dilemma. That was, of course, a low point, but they managed to build themselves back up. Win, stay at the top, and they are the champions. But they may as well get some bragging rights, as there's now a change to the lead. They are changing positions, the ET8 boys. This must be a strategic move. It just seems like he just let him by. And now it's Sergioli in the lead of this race, and still maximum points for ET8. And if they were to get this tonight, there's a potential they could finish in the top 3, despite starting from round 5. And they've won 3 times this season. Incredible from there. And there's a massive off there. Who is that, Indigo?
That is an AlphaTauri, and it was India too. I think they both made contact going into turn 4. They were side by side, but I only saw the aftermath of it. Here is a lovely helicopter shot of 6 cars going through this little sector there. Phil is all over the back of the Aston Martin, but can't find a way through. He's going to try and dial up the inside in an unconventional overtaking place in one of these corners. No, he's not. Going to have to stay behind for the time being. There's nothing Phil could do to try and overtake these two here. But Jesler and Kim McKillen in P9 and P10 have moved up 2 places due to the expense of the AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo going off the track there, of all ship of those two. Now called the V-Carb, of course, and Sauber. But as we make our way now onto lap 7. V-Carb, yeah, it's not really a good name, is it? But as we head down to turn 1...
Red Bull Light.
As we head down to turn 1, Phil can't get past for the time being.
Jeslar's now in 8th already. There's not even been a quarter of the race and he's already passed half the field. This is phenomenal. This is why he was the PSF3 champion. By the way, he didn't even win a race all season in PSGL, and he's been back passed by Lapiche, but that's a controversial move. He goes right into Lapiche and stays ahead, but now this allows McElhenney to attack into the inside, and now it's 3 wide and they're ganging up on Lapiche, and he's went off the track, lost all momentum, and he will be furious with that, as Murray Walker would say, the late great Murray Walker. Now the 2 Mercedes are drilling each other. They're probably fighting amongst themselves like Bowyer and Dyer once did at Newcastle United, it seems like. Isn't that the case for most teams every week? Then again, now the ET8 1-2 has finally been ruined by Phil. He's now in 2nd place and on the better, faster tyres, but of course they're going to be wearing out more, so he's somewhat of a pro in a con game. As you can see, and look at charging right behind Sergio, but can't get it. And now the 2 Mercedes or CPI cars, I should say, sorry, changing positions now. Jesler back to 9th again, but they'll be surely in doubt with that Lapiche incident. That's surely going to the steward's office.
And Phil takes the lead of the race and he puts himself into P1, but it won't be comfortable because he won't be able to break the DRS gap of these two guys here on the hard compound tyres. So unfortunately for Phil, the strategy's not really worked in terms of his favour. The guys can extend on those hard compound tyres and potentially go to the medium compound tyres later on in this race as well. He overtook him a bit too late there, but managed to go from P3 to P1 and try to overtake both Aston Martins, but they won't be worried about that, knowing Phil's on the medium compound tyres. But Killen and Jesler both made up 9 places apiece. That's a really good start in 8 laps there as well, but there was a controversial move, like you said. I didn't quite see where it was or what happened between those 2 or 3 cars. As you can see, Matozo, Angelo and Indian are scrapping away. I think Indian pitted, always made contact there on the back of the Alpine driver, and also Sieb is now ahead of the Ferrari driver, who is on the soft compound tyres, of course, so his tyres should be degraded. Yellow flags, 11 sense. It must be now for time, but here we are down into turn 1. These guys are tanting close behind each other.
Yes, the top 5 right at it. We've got IRT, the E2 ET8 and the 2 NLRs all fighting for glory, even though it is only lap 9. It's better to get ahead as Lapiche gets into the bad boys books with a 3-second penalty, not what you want, and you can't remove it, unfortunately, because of rules, 3 strikes, and you're out. Good thinking that MLB just started last month. But now Moustache looking for a way past the ET8 of Paul, but unfortunately he cannot. The moustache is not going to be shaved just yet, however. He's going to be keeping it together, trying to find any way he can to get into 3rd place, but still can't seem to get in there. He's right there though, and with Sergio Ollie potentially breaking away from his teammate and trying to pounce on Phil, this will give a chance for Moustache to strike while the iron's hot. They're all going to get DRS coming out of this final corner, and look at it, all right together. This is surely going to end the tears if they don't pull out soon enough. It's Noah's Ark 2x2 into the first corner. Sergioli holding on, but he can't do it. And there is a yellow flag further back, and Sergioli in the lead again. Phil and Paul now close together as the 2 NLRs are switching positions, trying to find a way past Paul. Look at this, all together, and into the corner they go, and Phil holds on, counters the overtake of Sergioli at the finish line, and gets ahead, stays ahead once again.
Indeed as well, so Phil back in the lead ahead of Sergio Ollie and Paul in P3, and actually Moustache has been overtaken by his teammate because he switched around at the exit of turn 3. He had made a big mistake at the exit of turn 2 into 3, and therefore allowed his teammate to come through. As you can see there, Paul at the exit of turn 10 goes a bit deep into the corner, but he maintains his position so far. Phil is not able to break away from this DRS train, unfortunately. There's 2 DRS zones around here, plus the medium compound tyres, and these hard runners will have been the favourites too in terms of the better tyre there. So there's nothing Phil could do for the time being. Well, let's pray for an early safety car indeed. But here we are. Look at Coolman all over the back of Paul. And look at that, Sergio Ollie. And look at this, we're going into turn 1, 2x2 again, as it was the previous lap time. Coolman trying to go down the inside of Paul. Paul side by side with him. Sergio Ollie takes the lead of the race. Coolman gets to the corner there and picks up a challenge water, unfortunately, but a bit too wide. But will Phil get back? Sergio Ollie going onto the Restaurant straight, which he does, and puts himself back into P1 there. These guys will constantly change positions all the way through.
Oh, dear me.
The top 6 all close together indeed. See, but the back of this DRS train, not able to do anything about it, being in 6th place. Further behind, Spinoda and Lapiche going side by side. He's on the soft compound tyres, still out there on them soft compound tyres, but it looks like both of them have made contact, judging by the way Spinoda was wide on the circuit.
Look how close these guys are. Are you watching Stefano Domenicali? This is what Formula 1 should be about. Close, hard-fought, true grit racing. And you're getting it right here at CSS, Competitive Speed Series, the final race on F123 before I uninstall it and pre-order F124. Yes, I am going to do that. But here we go. Phil, will he be challenged? It doesn't look like he will. Out goes the DRS for Sergio Ollie. Is there going to be a move from the ET8 driver? No, not close in time. I'm sure he's going to be waiting at the next. But Paul and Moustache now dueling. And Paul manages to slam through the 4th position, and now he's going to have DRS. They're all going to have DRS with the exception of Phil, and Phil will not be phased. He stays ahead again.
Yeah, I think Sergio is playing this tactically there, trying not to overtake Phil and try and keep Coleman behind at the same time as well, just playing tactical defense ahead of the McLaren driver as well. But Noziecki P7 there, doing a great job on those soft compound tyres. He's still in this DRS train. I suspect those soft compound tyres will start to degrade by the time now on lap 12 surely, but he's done a good job extending this. He might go from soft to hard or soft to medium. As you can see that all these guys bunched up in the entry of turn 10. It's very easy to hit the back of one another. You can see that Mustache's ERS status is about 20%, and you can see that well, you can see the massive oversteer at the exit of the corner there for Mustache as he tries to apply the throttle. Now he's using a bit of battery too. I'm not got the telemetry on. I can see his telemetry on the steering wheel there, because the telemetry is bolted onto the chassis there, not on the actual steering wheel. But this season it is in F1. Further behind, that's McKillen. Look at that, McKillen up into P7 there. So he's joining the back of this DRS train. Both Mercedes are now in this fight, and this can be very spicy now with both CPI drivers in this fight.
Yes, look at them all close together, and Sergio, the closest to the leader, still can't get past Phil, who's been leading this race for about quite a few laps now, heading out of the city of the Lago and into the middle sector of the track. Excuse me, just had my dinner. I know, rude, right? But Steve now joining this fight too. His teammate is in the lead, so this will be a big help should Phil hold up the field perhaps, and maybe let Sieb through to get up to the second place podiums. Maybe, by the way, 9th to 10th is 8 seconds. And the 10th place driver hasn't pit yet. I do believe Spinoda was involved in an incident earlier though, so that's probably the reason behind the big gap. It is about the top 9. Half and half. Half who are close, half who are not. And Sergio is going to be the closest to the lead. But is he going to pull off the lead? I suspect not. No, he's going to just set it up for the the next corner after the Senna S. Of course, 30 years since the late great Ayrton Senna tragically lost his life at Imola, forever remembered as a legend. But now Sergio trying to become a legend. Unfortunately, he will not be able to on this occasion. He stays behind Phil for the meantime.
Yeah, he's in no rush to overtake Phil. He could just play him and use him as DRS bait as well, as he knows he could just sit behind him and protect himself against Coolman in P3. So this is all tactical racing going on so far in this first stint, just setting them down and waiting for those guys to pit on those medium compound tyres. We'll see the real racing from there. It's just, as drivers, I got asked the question how frustrated it is to be stuck in a DRS train. I said very frustrated, because you're not able to make your way through the field. And places like Qatar, I got stuck in a massive DRS train and not able to move my way up through the field. So it is very frustrating to a driver's point of view. Obviously we're doing it all tactically as well. It is legal at the same time, but as a driver you're just stuck in that DRS train, not able to progress anywhere, and essentially just following this train all the way to the end of this race. But you can see there Sergio is not willing to make a move just yet, and Jesler now is up into P8 ahead of Noziecki, so both Mercedes P7 and P8, and Noziecki is still in this DRS train, considering he's on the soft compound tyres, so his tyre management on the softs is going well, but he might be dropping back now because of those soft compound tyres starting to fade away, so expect to see him in the pit lane very shortly.
Yes indeed, Indigo. Phil leads by 3/10 of a second. Seki noticeably on the softs. I'm starting to fear, are they starting to fall out of range? As well as the piece, both LDL drivers in the Ferraris started on soft tyres. The only I don't think there was any other drivers that did, but the only other driver right now on it is Sam, but he's right at the back, and I suspect he'll have to pit soon. As you can see, this pace is starting to wear off. No offence to both LDL drivers, of course, fantastic drivers throughout the season. But as you can see, the strategy is starting to really wear off, and I think we'll have to see them pit sooner or later. Meanwhile, back to the front of the field, Coleman is fighting in the podium positions, and he's got Moustache and Paul for company behind. As you can see, Sieb looking for a move as well. They get still side by side in the Senna S. This could end in tears if they're not careful, and Paul goes off the track and has to concede the position to Moustache and Sieb. Now Sieb in the top 5.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Paul there, got swapped to the exit of turn 2. I don't know if enough space was given or he just ran out of road, but judging on board with Moustache there, it looks like he just squeezed him out just a bit and ran out of road, and in the process has lost 2 places there. So Paul unfortunately is down into P6, And Mustache, yes, he is flashing indeed. You can see there the back of the Williams. He's used a lot of EOS, and I'm on board with him right now to see how much EOS he's got. Lapiche has retired the exit turn 1. Is that a safety car? Yes, a safety car has been deployed, and this is going to change things now in the race. We'll see a massive change. We'll see a lot of drivers into the pit lane for sure on this lap. It's a no-brainer to pit, of course. So all these guys will remain in formation, except for the ones that may be behind their teammates in this train. But look at Noziaki in P9. He can go from soft to medium, of course. So that'll be a good strategy for him. His soft compound tyres has worked to perfection because his teammates retired at the exit of turn 1. So expect a lot of drivers, expect all the drivers to dive off into the pit lane. Of course, some people have to suffer from a double stack.
That is the problem when you have your teammates close to each other. So Mustache, Seb and Paul, and definitely Jesla as well, they're all going to pay the price for double stacking. So they all come into the pits now. Phil that leads them away. With Seb coming in as well. And there you go, the double stack, the effects, it's already happening. Where is Mustache going to fall when he gets out of this pit lane? He's definitely not going to be 4th. He gets out of the pit, and I do believe it is 7th for Mustache. So loses 3 positions, pays the price. But looks like Seb and McHillamy have swapped positions in the pits. I'm not sure if that was a glitch or something, but Seb now gains position. McHillamy gains position as well. Jeslar down to 9th, so he loses 1 position from before the safety car. Now Phil's on the hards, and this could be a bit of a disadvantage for him. He's on the harder rubber, less grip, but of course more life. So, but with the amount of laps left, I'm not sure if that's going to be good news for Phil. Then again, 20 laps on these tyres, they can do wear the medium tyres out some.
Yeah, the hard compound tyres are not particularly the greatest tyre around here as well, so it's all about managing in the first stage. But he's on the alternate strategy here, and he's going to be surrounded by medium runners, so it looks like he's going to be runnable now towards the end of this Grand Prix. Can Phil hold on? He went for a different strategy, but will it pay dividends towards the end of the Grand Prix? These mediums can definitely go towards the end of the Grand Prix as well, so we'll see. It's paid good dividends for Noziaki in P8 because he went from soft to medium, so he's able to bolt on that medium compound tyre and take them towards the end. That soft stint was fantastic indeed. Managed to hold on in this DRS train, and now he's on the medium compound tyres with the same strategy as everybody else except Phil and Sam. Sam should be in the pit lane at the exit of this lap. I'm surprised not pitted yet down there in P16, so he should be able to go in the pit lane and put on a brand new set of medium compound tyres as well. And this bunches up the whole pack. We did see a bit of carnage and chaos in the first lap as well. We saw 4 people pit at the end of the first lap. I believe it was both RCR drivers, Guy stunts as well. Stretch was in the pit lane too, so I think those guys who fell backwards might have a chance to get themselves up the field if they can. But what a great start from CPI. From the back of the field, both of them disqualifying themselves on purpose, going from last to first literally. They're in P5 and P9, and there's 18 laps to go in this race. It's going to be a lot of action indeed. Will mediums hit 60%? Potentially Casper, but they shouldn't be too bad. They should be able to make it towards the end of the Grand Prix. They might hit a bit of a cliff, but it shouldn't be too bad to manage as long as they manage it in the first opening laps of this second stint here. So this should be a very interesting one. CPI had qualifying. My bad about that one. I thought they both disqualified themselves on purpose, but makes sense.
To be fair, I would still go last if I didn't have a qualifying ban. They've won the championship already. They cannot be toppled. For 66 points available, not enough to catch up, so it's over regardless. So I don't blame him at all. I wouldn't blame them at all for starting last. I don't think we'll be getting underway this lap. Not all the field is bunched up yet, so we will have to wait another lap, it seems. They all filter through to the lap 19. Yep, staying out is the safety car.
This could be a very interesting, spicy race indeed towards the end of the Grand Prix. And also, I think I noticed was EML where NLR got out-dragged somebody. I'm not quite sure which team it was. It was either ETA or NLR out-dragged another team towards the line, and the gap was about 600, and it was the top 3 separated by under a tenth. So that's how close you can get in Brazil, because you can also outdrag your teammate, outdrag your opponent towards the line as well. We've seen it plenty of times in the past, and also in F1 too, where we saw Perez and Alonso going side by side as well. Also the final corner heading towards the line, and we saw Alex Albon versus Hamilton versus Pierre Gasly back in 2019 too, and also in league racing. I commented here about 2-3 weeks ago, and someone outdragged them towards the line to win their Grand Prix. So we might see a bit of that going on. If you don't get the overtake done into turn 4, you've got the last straight with DRS, depending if you've got plenty of battery and a decent exit out of Judge Sal too.
So, everyone about to get ready for the restart. We're definitely restarting the start. Everyone's bunched up. We've been out for about 4 laps, I think. There's 17 drivers left in this race. Only one can win tonight. Although the championship decided it's all about bragging rights, as you can see. So safety car starting to pull away. It seems the light's about to go off now. You see, it worked. So yeah. Phil is going to gang up the entire field of cars, including Sergioli, Coleman. The top 9 were already somewhat so close. So it don't know what happens. They're all pretty much on equal footing now. Anything can happen at this rate. Phil, though, with a slight edge against him on the harder tyres. We'll have to see how it pans out over the course of the final half of the race. So Phil is going to get started again. He's holding the grid, holding it until the line. Here he goes there. And we are back underway. 17 laps to go, and there's already a move by Jeslar. It's Noseki on the outside. Into turn number 1, they both go. Noseki rides the curb and loses ground, and he actually gets a penalty in the process, so that harms the race even more. And now Jeslar back in 8th. Meanwhile, further up, it's Sergio. It takes the lead into the corner, and into the lead goes ET8 once again. To Phil's dismay, finally Phil's lead is destroyed, and there's more fields backing. No more overtakes happening further back.
I think India went up the inside of a Red Bull, because I was on board with a Red Bull watching Jesler and Noziecki going side by side, and the Red Bull came still up the inside. It made it stick, no contact was made. But yes, Jesler got Noziecki around the outside into 1, had the inside line into 2, and unfortunately the LDO driver picked up that 3-second time penalty. Now Sergioli is in the lead of this Grand Prix. I don't know if he can break the DRS though, how much ERS he's going to use. Will he just save it up for the remainder of this race? But however, he's got past Phil. Can Phil stay there in P2? He's definitely got the grip. He's used a bit of battery, as you can see on board with the McLaren driver as we head down to turn 1. Will he make the move into turn 1? Let's have a look. We try to go around the outside into turn 1. No, we can't. Not enough room around the outside. He stays in P2 for the time being there. So Phil hasn't lost a lot of positions. He's still in P2 and got some decent pace there in the McLaren. But is he using a lot of battery? Try to stick with Sergioli in P1 as we go onto the rest of Potter Straight, going down towards the Cedar de Lago. He backs off for the time being and stays in P2. Then so it looks like he got some decent pace on those hard compound tyres. Managed to get them fired up and still in this DRS trade. Not looking too bad for the McLaren driver so far.
Yeah, and he's probably got better straight line speed, evidently, as you can see. And these tyres are not supposed to be as grippy as the mediums. It's supposed to be the polar opposite. But it seems like with full straight line speed, it's starting to get him back up there and make up for it. So Sergioli's got to be very careful how he handles the leadership of this race. Meanwhile, his teammate Steve is catching up as the IRT driver, and now he's right in the back of Coleman. This can go anyone's way, and Phil is going to have a chance at the lead once again. His undefeatable straight line speed is going to get him past back into the lead of the race, and DRS is now enabled. Sergioli wants that lead back and fast. Well, he could in the next corner, and now Guiton's getting past Sam. Paul back there, who was on pole position, is back in 6th now, but he's going to try and make a position with Emily ahead in the CPI, the championship winning CPI. No change up front, but here in for 5th position, a massive dive on the outside from Paul. A daredevil dive, but he doesn't get it. Very unlucky from Phil. He's going to go for it here. He's a real daredevil, is Paul. Can he pull it off? Paul! Oh, he's so close. He can feel it, but he can't seem to get it. On the outside here would be a really bold move, but he's not going to get it. McKillamy shutting the door. I'm shutting the door again. This is just fantastic fighting for 5th place.
Fantastic indeed, risking it out here in Brazil in the high-speed corners of Ferradura going side by side, but unfortunately for Paul, wasn't able to pull it off though, but he's definitely trying to find a way past the Mercedes driver on McKinley in P5. Jesler is in PA. Here comes steaming around the outside. That is Mustache, using a lot of battery, as you can see on that steering wheel. Sergio is right behind Phil, but not ready to make a move into turn 1. Looks like Mustache is using a lot of ERS so far in this stint, like he was in the first stint, to try and make up some lost places, so he's definitely low on the battery. Is Mustache in P6 there, but as we head onto the rest of Postra, looks like Sergio was staying behind for the time being. Maybe use the same tactic he used in the first stint, keeping Phil in front and keeping coming behind. What's happened here?
An Indian's out. He's had a crash with Stretch, and that's brought out another safety car. See, I don't know what happened there. It seemed like that looked like he went so fast past the city of Lago. It looked like it was evidently his doing all along. That was quite a weird crash, but all of a sudden it's brought out the safety car again. Don't know if much is going to change from this though, to be fair. Is Phil going to pit? But if he does, he loses all those places, so it would be a no-brainer to stay out from all the drivers, I think, unless someone's got a trick up their sleeve.
Yeah, I think, what would I do? I think I'd stay out there. There's no really point in any pitting. I don't think anyone's going to pit unless guys at the back or in the midfield might pit to put on a set of new mediums, new soft. But we'll see if anybody decides to go to the pit lane at the end of this lap. I think some people are doing a dubby. Oh. No, they're going to the pit lane. This is going to be interesting. Steve stays out, Mustache stays out, and here we are double for the second change of double stack avoidance indeed. So Steve takes the lead, Mustache in P2, Jesler in P3. Those three have risked it out to stay there. We'll see how it pays dividends towards the end, if it does or not. But here we are on the soft compound tyres for Phil, Sergioli, and the rest will follow the soft compound tyres.
Well.
Say that again, sorry.
Manazozo's staying out as well. Sorry to jump over you, but the RTR driver, I do believe, aligned with Alpine, is staying out. So he's going to be in 4th place now after starting in 9th place and being relatively out of the running. Is now in the fight of it, it's going to seem like. And Jeslar up there as well, but they've got to be careful. These drivers are going to be pushing on the softs, even though there's about 11 laps left and it might run out before then. They're going to really pump up the volume with these softs, and I tell you, it's going to be one heck of a finish. And I know we hype it up all the time, but please stay with us. It is a fantastic sight to behold racing, and they never hype it up in Formula 1, it seems, during the race. Even if it happens or not. No, it doesn't. You never hear them hype it up and say, oh, Max Verstappen's going to win again. Boring. Yeah, we know, but there's also 500 battles behind them.
If you watch the F1 commentators, the actual F1 TV pro commentators, Channel 4, they're really good at hyping things up. And yes, Sky Sports F1, not so great. But however, I'm going to go to the toilet as we right back very shortly. But it's going to be a fascinating race for those on the soft compound tyres. McKinney has gone the other way on a brand new set of meds.
Yeah, but actual toilets in Sao Paulo? No, I never knew it. Anyway, Sieb now is the race leader. Jeslar's went from 18th to the podium spot. Dead last to the podium spots. Reminds me of Kimi Räikkönen that one time. He started 22nd back when they actually had more than 10 teams. Thank you, Super Aguri. And he finished 3rd in the first race of the 2006 season. And that's where Michael Schumacher found his feet back again. Even though he started from pole and finished 2nd, he still had a horrendous season before, defeating the dominant R20, almost defeating the dominant R26 was fantastic to see. That would be his last season in a Ferrari for his initial retirement, and then he went to Mercedes and then obviously passed the torch to Lewis Hamilton, and the rest is history. And now it's all gone full circle, as he will now be driving, Lewis Hamilton will now be driving for Ferrari and not wait, considering that tractor for W15. Anyway, here's the real business. The driver in the lead is Sieb, is taking over the reins from his teammate Phil, who's probably going to be charging up the field past Jeslar, Mustache and Matt Zozo as well, for the chance at maximum points to the IRT, send out the season high, a bit of a consolation prize, missing out on the victory in this championship. And here we go, safety car in this lap. Have we got an Indigo?
I am back just in time then. So yes, the safety cars
Excellent.
at the end of this lap. We should see the soft runners overtake these medium runners with ease. It's going to be very difficult there because obviously see Mustache and Jesler on the constructors fight and will help their teammate. However, McKillany on those medium compound tyres has gone a different way. He did have a qualifying ban and should have 3 or 4 sets of softs at his disposal to use. So surprised not used to when he thinks the medium tyres are better. I'm not quite sure. Did Mustache touch the back of Seeb? Here we go then for the safety car restart. As we go away then, we can see it battles immediately as we go down into turn 1. It is to be abreast. Are they going to make it unscathed? Yes they are. I think Jesler's ahead of Matozo. Look at the contact made! As Jesler's in the spin! He almost lost the car. Well, he did lose the car, but he got collected up again and managed to keep going in a straight line. It did Jesler. So he's out of the race then, essentially, for this lead. And here comes Phil on the back of Sergioli.
Yeah,
contact again! And Phil's gone out wide. I'm not quite sure if Sergioli left him enough room or not, but there's major controversy going on already at this stage. And Paul gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting.
Paul's got a 5-second penalty for overtaking illegally, and that's going to ruin his race now. The pole position sitter is going to get zipped from this race, it seems. Naseki now battling with Spinoda, but that's Jeslar's fairy tale last to first ruined, and that's another clash between Spinoda and Serch. What are you screaming about? I heard a massive scream, faint one in the background. What's happened?
Yeah, Stretch tried to go over the inside of Spinoda at turn 10. There wasn't quite enough room, but luckily only minor contact was made. However, at the front, Mustache pulls out to the right hand side to overtake C for the lead of the Grand Prix. They're going to be hunted down by the medium runners. They got they got blessed by that contact, but these guys will catch up very shortly as well. The Alfa Romeo driver and Jesler fights again. Here we are going down into turn 1 and turn 2. So it looks like Jesler's got a bit of damage there. Evidently, Phil is on the back of Sergioli once again as we go to the inside there. For Phil into turn 4, he overtakes Sergioli, and now his teammate should let him go.
It's like he wasn't gone. Phil now is going for the lead again. It only took 2 laps for him to get there. See, but now surely he's got to be letting his teammate through. Yeah, he does. He lets him through, and now into second place he goes. But can he defend from Sergioli? He's defending for his life. He had to sacrifice not only his position, but also the position behind. And Sergioli is going to get through, but I do think it was inevitable, considering the tyre difference. Now, Seeb Coleman all behind him, and he nearly runs to the back off Seeb. That would have been a tragic way to lose out on the win. Now Phil's right behind Mustache. Surely this is inevitable to get through. Mustache seems helpless there. No DRS. Then again, neither does Phil. It's not on yet. And there's a battle behind as well. Who is that? That is Coleman going up at the outside of Sergioli. Almost gets it. Gets past Seeb though. Now, who is it going to be coming into the city of the Lago this time? Phil, Mustache, side by side, but Mustache cannot get past Phil. He's just been on his A game, or no, triple A game has Phil, and now he is leading this race.
Yeah, Phil's back into P1 on those soft compound tyres. Mustache on the meds. Coolman got past C before turn 1. Tries to go around the outside of Sergioli. I think that's McKillany trying to overtake C around the outside or down the inside, but wasn't able to pull it off. Will he go for the overtake in turn 10? Can he set himself off? Yes, he will. It goes up the inside into turn 10, but C was the outside line. Bit of contacts made for good measure as they both apply the throttle now. They're out of DRS range towards Coolman, and McKillany is not able to get past C, but he should do, as you should overtake him into turn 1. They go CPI and IRT have got good friendship, but on the track it's all for themselves. And off we go there between those two side by side once again, but it should be easy pickings with the DRS there. But back to the front, Sergioli is right behind Mustache on the medium compound tyres, of course. Here we are into turn 1, late braking, and he takes P2, or almost takes P2, because Mustache is still there. He's got up the inside again, but it's a losing battle there as he lets Coolman go. That's why he falls so hard, because Coolman was there. Weaving left and right, say thank you. I thought those two would have been a party together, not weaving left and right, surely. But anyways, the top 3, Phil, Sergioli and Coolman, ILT, ETA and NLR, first, second and third. Off we go with 7 laps to go in this race. Who will become the victor out of these 3?
We'll have to find out. We've got 8 laps to go to determine our winner. Phil in a very comfortable position, 6 tenths ahead of Sergioli, but can he hold it? Long way to go. 8 laps is a long way. It's about 10 minutes I make it from now. Actually, yeah, about 10 minutes. So, they're all filtering through the second sector. Now, it seems like they're all bunching up again. McKillany right on the edge of overtaking Moustache. Moustache starting to lose ground to his teammate, who's 7 tenths ahead, and he's on the worst rubber. But now, Phil coming across to the line to start lap number 37 to go, and still cannot be faced. But Spinoda and Sieb are going to be battling for 7th place, and Sieb, with the way worse rubber, cannot put up a fight against Fana Spinoda. That's a brilliant name. I already love it. But now there's going to be some DRS battling. McKillamy taking advantage, getting past Moustache and into 4th place. Now, can he do his team proud? Can he get them a 6th win this season? Giving them a 50% success rate, that would be a phenomenal achievement. Well, then again, Max Verstappen would probably disagree. But he's almost up the top 3. And now Paul trying to make his way back up the order after falling down the order. But he has got a 5-second penalty. So that will have to be added to his resume after the race.
Yeah, it's a shame there for Paul at the exit of turn 1. Not quite sure if he was involved in that battle. He tried to avoid the contact between the two drivers who went side by side into 1 and into turn 2. I think it was Jesler, I can't remember who else it was who got involved in that action as well. But 4 different teams in the top 4. IRT lead ahead of NLR. Sorry, Aston Martin. CPI. God, I can't even remember now. It is ETA, so I'm used to seeing CPI in the Aston Martin in different league races. Here is Spinoda overtaking Noseki for P7. He's on the medium compound tyres. Is Spinoda. As you can see there, Noseki's trying to fight back underneath him, but he can't quite do so for the time being. But McKillany's on the medium compound tyres, which is very interesting. I thought he would have wanted the soft compound tyres, but he believed the mediums are the best way to go. Sieb is dropping down the order after a great, phenomenal job in the top 5. Unfortunately, he's on the old tyres. He sacrificed himself. But Moustache, he still did a good job in P5. But although he's quite low in the ERS, and he's dropping away from this fight as well, as Paul and Ezeki going side by side or trying to overtake. Paul is up into P7, overtook him before turn 7, did a fantastic move like you said, and let's see if he can try and catch the back of this pack as well. Can Moustache hold on to this DRS trade here, because he's got guys behind him on fresher tyres as well. So IRT, ETA, NLR and CPI, top 4. Which one of those 4 will come out on top?
Are we getting close to the crossover point? McKillamy starting to gain on the top 3, all running on softs. McKillamy has the more enduring rubber. Can he get past any of these 3 drivers at the first corner? It's Sergio starting to close up to Phil, and Coleman up there too. McKillamy starting to hunt his prey, and it will be coming out Retro Aposta. Turn number 3, here we come. Who is going to strike while the iron is hot? It's going to be McKillamy. He's going to try and see if he can get past. But Coleman is getting closer to Sergioli than he is McKillamy. No moves made, and Spinoda, where has he come from? Spinoda, from nowhere, is now in 5th as McKillamy furiously trying to get past Coleman. He's going to try and execute a move at that corner. He goes on the outside. He thought about it, but he decided, no, I'm going to go to the outside, play it safe. Looks like Coleman actually put a defensive move there. Quite interesting. From that, that's only brought Spinoda into the game. Spinoda now with a chance of winning. Who would have thought this RVL hotshot would have a chance? Well, to be fair, he did start 14th. 14th was pretty much a non-factor until the second safety car. Now, he and McKillamy are fighting for the W, the final win, race win of this season. And of this game, I should mention. Crazy, gripping stuff here.
Indeed it is, and a lot of people in the chat asking for the ERS status of these cars. Obviously you can't see on the steering wheel because the camera angle is zoomed in, but I've got specific instructions not to show the telemetry. I always show the telemetry in different leagues of course, but obviously different leagues had different rules of course. Will Sergioli wait for the final stages of this Grand Prix to overtake Phil? He's not going to go for it right away because he knows he's got Coolman and McKillany all over the back of him too. This is getting very hot, very intensified towards the end of this Grand Prix. Spinoda did a great job in P4. Look at that, McKillany trying to go on the inside. He goes a bit deep. Will Spinoda try to take advantage? Yes, he is. He's trying to go around the outside. Into turn 8 we go. But can't quite put it off. And looks like McKillany there really got to watch out for Spinoda because he's found some pace had the Red Bull driver. Remember, RVL on a fight with RCR so far. Looks like RVL are currently winning. I thought it was a tongue twister at the beginning. It is a tongue twister right now. But yes, look at that. Spinoda though gets a horrible exit out of Judsal. Might allow Moustache all over the back of him. Moustache on all the tight is still sticking with his pair. He's got ETA Paul all over the back of him. And let's see what happens going down into turn 1. You can see there Sergioli and Koolman going wheel to wheel. As you can see, they're going up the inside. Sergio is now in the lead of the Grand Prix ahead of Phil and Paul, and Moustache are scrapping away for P6 there. Into turn 1 they go. And looks like Paul's ahead of Moustache for the time being. But as we head onto Mr. Poster Straight, here comes Phil on Sergio once again to go wheel to wheel as we go down into turn 4. Here we go. And Koolman's trying to go around the outside too. Phil's trying to play strategic here because he's trying to lift off the throttle. Keeping Koolman behind.
Crash!
What's happening there?
It's Moustache and Stretch. They've had a big collision and Stretch has completely lost it. What's going on here? What is this? 5 cars? Are you crazy? Going in to the middle sector. I cannot believe it. Phil is in the lead again. McKillamy bunges into the top 3 over Hadley. Coleman's going to strike again. Try and cover the inside. And McKillamy loses as a spin out of the curve. And now he's lost position again. All that hard work gone to naught. And there were 5 cars fighting for the first position, maybe 6, in that one corner. Insane!
2 different groups going side by side into Ferradora and keeping his stick is incredible. Sergio has stood off his DRS, but Koolman is on his way. Here we are then as we head down into turn 1 we go. Sergio takes the lead of the Grand Prix again ahead of Phil. They're trying to play tactical here, try and keep NLR. Oh, contact between the 2.
Oh no, Spanner Spinoda is out! Spanner Spinoda is out after all that hard work. He's had his race completely ruined. And the CPI drivers have had their race completely ruined. Fana Spinoda will take a Zippo from this race. Not a Zippo, a Zip, 0 points. Not finishing the top 15. Heartbreak. What could have been a miraculous victory instead has ended in disaster. And Phil and Sergio and Coleman have held off the medium chargers. After all that, they have stayed in the top 3. Insane.
That's a shame there for CPR, doing a really good job trying to make their way from Leicester up towards the field, but Spinoda and McKillany came into contact. I'm not quite sure who's at fault there, but we're about to head on to the final lap. If you noticed on the Richard Posher straight, these guys turned off their DRS, and now there's more contact going on as the Alfa Romeo makes its way. But more importantly, here comes Sergio for the lead on this Grand Prix. He takes the lead away, but will he stay that way as we go into turn 1 we go. Here comes Koolman trying to go around the outside. Into turn 1 we go. They remain side by side. He has the inside line for turn 2, but this might allow Sergio to pull away because they're scrapping away for P2 and P3, and Sergio's got a 5/10 advantage, but will Phil get it back with his OP straight line speed. But this will come down towards the line then as we make our way now towards turn 4, the last DRS zone. Can he out-drag Sergio towards the line? It's going to come down to between Phil and Sergio. These two running first and second majority of this race has been incredible. Great tactical teamwork. They've been working together to try and keep the guys behind in terms of boxing them in and turn off the DRS as well for good measure. So these guys have been playing it out beautifully here as Paul and the Alfa Romeo go side by side now into turn 7 and turn 8 they go. And the Alfa Romeo trying to sneak his way up the inside of Paul. Paul trying to stick around the outside, but he has turn 10 coming up. Which one of these guys will a bit of contact too as he tries to close the door on Paul, but can't quite make it stick. But more importantly, can Phil get a decent exit? Bit of oversteer the exit too. Is there going to be enough straight line speed for Phil to try and get past Sergio? Has got a battery trying to overtake him on the straight. The DRS is now enabled, draining all the battery. I don't think he's going to get him. It's going to be close though. As Sergio crosses the line, he wins the Brazilian Grand Prix ahead of Phil. Koolman in P3 ahead of Paul. Massive battle going on out here with the McLaren of Sieb up to P5.
He had a penalty anyway. He drops down to 10th. Sieb gets the 5th, Inwa gets the 4th, but Sergio, his teammate, may have fallen down the order, but he managed to deliver the goods instead. It is ETA and Sergio who win the final race of what's been a fantastic season of hard-fought racing. They will get their 4th win of the season and will finish with a fantastic tally of 300, and is that 335 points, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly. Who got the fastest lap? If they did, then they get an extra point, so it'll be 336. What a haul of points. And I think that will put them in 4th place, which is a fantastic job for them. But it is CPI, of course, as we said last week, who's won the title.
Wow, congratulations there for CPI winning the title. And what a final race that is. Thank you, CSS. Thank you, Ace Harvey, for bringing me in for the last race of the season. Thank you so much. What a show. The Brazilian Grand Prix. Loads of drama going on in this race as well. But Sergio for Aston Martin doing a fantastic job defending there from Phil towards the end of the Grand Prix. I think what cost Phil is the battle between himself and Coolman trying to go side by side into 1, 2 and 3, and therefore Sergio was able to break away just slightly and hold on to first place there. So what fantastic racing there for Sergio there. Fantastic indeed. Phil from P7 to P2. Looks like he was a disadvantage in the middle stint, but that third stint when the safety car came out put him back as he was able to put on the soft compound tyres and fight her way through. Look at Siemens to P5 despite being on older tyres as well. Up to P5 after all the melee and chaos unfolded towards the end of the Grand Prix. It looks like CPI had a bit of advantage too, but all that contact there towards the end of the Grand Prix tumbled down the order, and therefore the guys ahead took advantage. Well, Coolman in P3, fantastic for him, and the Alfa Romeo from P11 to P4, fantastic job too. It's a shame for Spinoda and also Mustache. Looks like they better have a good result there, but unfortunately they both came to blows and fell down the order dramatically as well, losing a lot of points. I believe Spinoda finished in 16th place there, 2 laps down, so I think he was DNF, but still classified at the same time. Mustache takes the fastest lap of the Grand Prix for good measure. But yeah, nice to have you alongside with me, mate. It's been a pleasure to commentate with you for the first time. Even though it was late notice, pleasure to commentate with you the first time.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Sorry I was late. I had finished work and, get dressed and all. I was having a bit of technical difficulties as well. It didn't really help. But hey, we got there in the end. But yeah, that's it. The end of the season, CSS this season. Congratulations to the champions. DPI, you've been absolutely fantastic. I wish they'd tell me the full names of these teams in my notes, but they didn't give me that, so that's not very good, is it? I should mention...
Oh, sorry about that. I would be a full-time commentator for this league, CSS. I used to commentate for Friday when it was back on Fridays of PS, but unfortunately they switched it over to Sundays, and Troy knows why I can't race around here, or can't commentate around here. So I wouldn't race because these guys are way too quick for me. I don't be able to keep up. But yeah, I would love to commentate full-time for this league, because every time I've joined in different races, it's always put on a massive show around here. So thank you for having me in for the last race of the season, and Logan, thanks for commentating with me.
No problem. Sorry again if I was late. Hey, we got the job done.
Yes, we did indeed. So it worked out in the end as well. Good job. I had my notifications on as well, because I didn't realise I had somebody else alongside me. So yeah, it's a good job I brought you in.
Indeed. Should also mention thank you to all 80 plus drivers that entered this season. Couldn't have been done without you. You will be all fantastic. And hopefully we will see you all next season.
Yeah, see you on the F1 24 game as we get rid of the F1 23, and also we've got a race in 30 minutes around USA in Miami. So the rest of the boys, myself and Logan will go off to watch the Miami Grand Prix and see Max Verstappen dominate.
We need Count Binface to start an F1 team.
Say again, sorry?
We need Count Binface to start an F1 team. He might have not been mayor of... Sorry, it's satire. I'm allowed to say it.
But anyways, we'll see you all whenever. Thank you for having me on stream. Thank you to Harvey. Thank you to all 10 teams who have participated this season. And hopefully we'll see another great battle next season. Congratulations, CPI. Once again, Troy will be very happy. And I'll be racing with the manager of CPI next Sunday in ALR. So I'll see you all later.